So far, season 14, episode 3 is probably one of my favorite episodes of the season. There's a lot to talk about right now, so here is your spoiler warning for season 14, episode 3, The Scar of Supernatural. Don't watch this if you haven't seen it, or if you don't want to hear my predictions for the next few episodes. Before I say anything, though, I just want to tell you guys how fucking happy I was this episode. But Claire was confirmed as LGBT. As a big fat lesbian and a super fan of Supernatural, that has literally warmed my hearts, because just Claire and Kaya were like my OTP of Supernatural, just because like I don't really ship Destiel that much, nor do I really ship anything else super much, so yes. Anyway, there's a lot of things we gotta talk about in this episode. So firstly, let's start with Dean. After Michael had abandoned Dean as a vessel, Dean is having a hard time coping with it, and obviously we're gonna have to deal with the whole I'm fine bullshit that he usually does every time something traumatic happens to him. But we did see at the end, Dean kind of opened up a little bit to Sam, which is a very good thing, and finally we got that brotherly moment that we have been waiting for 3 fucking episodes. But we know that the effect of being possessed by an archangel is not too wonderful considering the road that Nick went down. You could say that Dean is kind of paralleling with Nick at this moment, just not the same degree as murdering someone with a fucking hammer. I don't think Michael is gone just yet. The real issue this season is more the powered up monsters that Michael has been making rather than Michael himself. But we aren't really going to be getting that in the next episode, considering it's going to be a Halloween themed episode and also a filler. I'm still very excited for it though, because we have not had a Halloween themed episode in a while. Regardless, it's been said that Michael Dean is going to be around longer than we have expected. I'm just waiting for the gear to turn, considering right now is probably the part where we think everything is okay with Dean and Michael, but then it ends up biting us in the ass. I don't think that Dean will say yes to Michael again, just because he said in this episode how much he regrets doing it, but I do have a few theories about how it might occur. First, the scar on Dean's arm is very important, at least I think it is. The spear that Kaya used was able to hurt Michael. It probably wouldn't have been able to kill him, but definitely it hurt him. Because Kaya and her weapon are from the other universe, Michael was able to track Kaya down because he needed her spear, because he knew that that was one of the only things that could hurt him. Because Michael was stabbed with it, Dean obviously was as well. And because Michael can sense Kaya and her spear, then it should make sense that Michael is able to sense people who the weapon has been used on, aka Dean, and the vampires that he sent after Kaya. So if Michael ever needs Dean's vessel again, which is pretty likely, then I don't doubt that Dean having that scar can act as a tracker for him and Michael. Michael's plan seems pretty simple right now. Gather the monsters, use his grace to mutate them into stronger monsters, similar to how Asmodeus used Gabriel's grace to power himself up, use the monsters as his army, and take over the world. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to do that now, considering he left Dean, who was his perfect vessel, but that may also be a part of his plan. Another theory I have is that Michael had his hooks far into Dean to get that spear. Think of it, the perfect plan would be to leave Dean, lead him to Kaya and the weapon, and have him pop in and take it. When Michael was possessing Dean, this could have been his trap all along, just like he said in season 14, episode 2, Gods and Monsters, to the vampire that he had killed. I'll throw the clip up real quick.
Rule number 1. You can't have a trap without bait. That brings us to rule number 2, which says, once the trap has been sprung, you don't need the bait anymore.
The first thing that they did was track down Kaya, so I don't doubt that this could have been a possibility. Michael could have had influence over Dean just like Lucifer had influence over Nick. But that's my take on it. The next topic is Jack. Jack isn't doing too well, and he's honestly kind of reminding me of when Sam was going through the trials in season 8, and that he's going to go down a road similar to that. It's been confirmed by a few cast members that in a few episodes, Jack is going to have fainting spells, which I am not excited to see my nougat-loving son in so much pain. I have a feeling that this is definitely due to the loss of his grace, or his grace maybe regenerating. The thing that's different with Jack is that he is a Nephilim, or Nephilim, depending on how you say it. I don't really care. We've seen angels and archangels without grace, and it makes them human. It doesn't make them sick and cough up blood or whatever else is gonna happen to Jack, which I'm not ready for because I don't want to see him be hurt anymore. And also, if I see Jack cry one more time this season, I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore. I just realized that I have toilet paper hanging on the edge of my bed. I'm just letting you guys know this so I can blow my nose. I'm pretty sick right now. Fuck that toilet paper. I don't have tissues in my house at the moment, so this is what I'm dealing with. Where was I? I'm gonna take an educated guess and say that the whole reason why Jack is becoming sick is because he is a Nephilim, or because he's been without his grace for so long that it's affecting him. But I think the first one is probably the answer. I don't know how Jack is going to be. Maybe he just has to ride out whatever the sickness is that he is going through until his grace regenerates. I also have a feeling that the scene we saw in the season 14 promo with Jack and Rowena is either going to be Rowena trying to heal Jack or speed up the regeneration of his grace. Like I said before, his sickness or illness or ailment, whatever you want to call it, can either be caused by two things. Either him not having his grace, or his grace is finally starting to regenerate, which may take a toll on his body considering he is a human at the moment, and he is originally part human. Jack being ill is going to be a big deal in this season, considering it's probably something that can't be healed that easily or quickly. Like I said, kind of like Sam in the trials, he was basically sick for half of season 8 and half of season 9, considering he was being possessed by Gadriel for most of that season. Hopefully, Rowena is going to help with that. It's already been shown that she's going to be with Jack in that bunker, and, you know, doing some spell shit. I don't know, though. Overall, there are a lot of things to expect within the next few episodes, but the next episode is going to be a filler. I do think the only thing that is going to be brought up next episode that is related to the plot right now is Jack being sick. I think that Sam, Dean, and Cass are going to figure this out probably toward the end of the episode or the beginning of the episode after. I'm assuming that Sam and Dean are going on the Halloween case alone, and that leaves Cass with Jack. I think the whole Michael situation might be mentioned in the beginning of the episode and then not mentioned until the episode after, considering that's usually how the fillers work. But regardless, for the future episodes regarding the plot, I think the toll that Michael had on Dean will be a big thing this season, because I think that Dean's going to have a bit of a blow up towards the end of the season. It is a possibility that Dean may be possessed again, but I think it's a bit too early to tell at this point. Regarding Jack, his grace is supposed to be replenished, but I have a pretty big feeling that his whole illness situation is going to be a big problem later on. Hopefully, it's only temporary, though. Finally, I loved this episode. I love the fact that Claire was finally confirmed as LGBT. I stan it. We love a lesbian queen or a bisexual queen. I don't know what her identity is, but you know what? I'm so psyched for that. I'm very glad that Dean is Dean right now. That whole scene with the whole Duck Dynasty thing, like, was fucking iconic. I love that.
Duck Dynasty called and they want it all back.
But besides that, this was a really good episode. I'm glad it kind of moved the plot a little bit forward. And I'm glad we got to see some part of the Wayward Sisters this season, because I'm just so stoked. But anyway, that's all I have to say regarding this episode, season 14, episode 3, The Scar. I will throw up the promo for the next episode, season 14, episode 4, right now.
Magic Man. Time to slice and dice.
Oh, dude.
It's a ghost.
Hatchman is coming here.
Where's everybody? We all do bad things sometimes.
So that's the promo for the next episode. Like I said before, it is a Halloween-themed episode. It's going to be a filler. First filler of the season. I'm ready. I personally don't really like fillers as much as I love the plot-related episodes, but I love every single episode of Supernatural, besides a select one or two. That's all I have to say, so thank you for watching. If you enjoy Supernatural, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I make weekly Supernatural videos, and I do weekly live streams and all that other stuff. So, thank you for watching. I hope you all have a nice day, and don't get possessed by any demons. Bye!